The automotive industry is set for a revolution that will disrupt and reshape global business, threatening the survival of every organization. To make sure you survive and win in the new automotive game, automotive growth expert Roberto Dal Corso has interviewed global experts from the automotive industry to identify the changes and the impacts that are coming to keep you ahead of the curve.
Good afternoon and welcome to the leading disruptive automotive trends. Today we have a very special guest, Zoran Nikolic, all the way from Germany. Zoran, you're the Managing Director of Volk Aftermarket Experts. Welcome. How are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much, Robbie, for this invitation. One small remark, the company is named as Volk After Sales Experts, based in Germany, in the area of Cologne. We are a team of 15 people in our office here in Germany, and we have also our aftermarket network partners throughout the Europe, and actually also outside of Europe. Last partners we have introduced in our network is from China. So we try to expand our activities also outside of Europe.
No, that's absolutely true. And I mean, you are definitely one of the leaders in the automotive industry, especially on the after-sales, aftermarket side.
Yes, it is something what we see as a necessity in this small segment of automotive business in aftermarket generally. We have our aim is to be a bridge between market and aftermarket units by stakeholder in our market, and provide as much as possible support and professionalism in this small area. You know, we do have very, very long value chain started by vehicle manufacturers or component manufacturers via different group of trading buying groups at the IM and OES side, via distributors, via on the national level, international level, regional level, local level. Then we have also the partners and end consumers in B2B at garage level, and then we have also direct contact also with end consumers, car drivers. So there is a long chain in between of those different levels. There is also, from our point of view, needed a kind of bridge to bring, let's say, right information, real information to the right time, to the right place.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you there, Zoran.
It's okay, all right.
No, absolutely. I love the way you've described the value chain. Before we get really started, I mean, I've known you for a couple of years, and I'm sure everyone is very curious to hear of how you got involved in the automotive industry, because as a child, most people don't think of, well, I want to go into the automotive aftermarket industry. So how did you get involved in the industry?
Let's say following. I'm, from my education side, I'm a business lawyer. I've never worked as a lawyer in my life. There are many, many different, but one of the reasons is that I have had also the possibility to learn aftermarket business from the analytical side. I started and a market research company, also in Cologne here, almost 20 years ago, and with a clear focus on aftermarket business. And since 2009, since the relaunch of Work After Sales Experts, I joined the company, and then I met here and real expert aftermarket business, Mr. Helmut Wolf, who is not more active in the market. He's retired right now, but he was my mentor, and I think it was the main reason why I stood here and why I love this job.
No, that I mean, I know, you absolutely are very passionate about the market. You're very passionate about what you do, and just to mention Helmut Volk, I think you've had probably one of the best mentors to learn the aftermarket and the skills of the trade, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, you can imagine. There was days and partly also evenings, also deep in the night, discussing about certain developments, discussing about certain projects, discussing about what happened in the market, what is influence factor in one or another case, what could be perhaps for forecast, how will be development in future. Yeah, it was very nice. It is still very nice.
Yeah. No, I think it's a wonderful niche market to be in. And Zoran, as we get started with more pointing question, when you take a look at it, I mean, as you rightfully mentioned, you've got partners all over the world. You're globally expanding. From your perspective, what do you see as some of the leading disruptive automotive trends in the industry today?
I mean, it is not particularly only development in after-sales business.
No.
Look generally let's look to the landscape, to the world map generally, and zoom out and look what happened, and which direction is movement of money, of people, of technologies, of I don't know. Everything has a certain direction, and looking to the globally to the market, we can clearly see the massive development of aftermarket, especially in Asia, in China. Development of independent aftermarket there is a big challenge. It is big opportunity, big chance for all stakeholders there. In China is the average age of vehicle park for passenger cars less than 5 years.
Yes.
It is time and the growing vehicle park, and it is trend since several years, and now with this market, this stock is going to be older and older, and this is a big opportunity for our business, especially the stakeholders there, the market participants in independent aftermarket, and whose experience from European aftermarket, from US American aftermarket, from American generally, and so on, from Russian aftermarket, from Middle East aftermarket, from all sides of the world, you can take the best practices and implement. So it is a very, very, very good chance, big chance for all who want to be present in the future there.
Yes, yes. So it's implementing some of the best practices that come around from the globe itself.
Yeah. Yes, if you see this movement there, this is very many people thinking, okay, at a certain point as the boom is over, it is normality, it will be very, very moderate increasing rate in the future will be to expect. But if you see here right now, I think the boom is not stopping. The market is increasing by 2 digits. Which high potential there, where, let's say here, the structure of the aftermarket is already established.
Yes.
But the value chain, the participants, stakeholder in value chain are not so able to follow and to take the advantages and chances there. Let's as a sample, for example, looking to the possibilities in Brazil or in Russia or in I don't know, the Middle East and some of the other countries. The structures are already developed. Garage level is existing. Distributors are professional there. There is still possible to earn good money in this area. But talking about a main driver for aftermarket, about stock of vehicles,
yes,
there is still a possibility for increasing rates. Looking to the average car density in those areas, there is far under, let's say, rates which we know, for example, from Europe or North America.
Yes, yes.
There is, of course, additional increasing potential. Then we have additional region, this is African region, with South Africa and North African countries as only regions in the whole continent where the market is actually existing, aftermarket, and looking to the Saharan, sub-Saharan area and mid-Africa, generally Eastern Africa also. It is, there are no structures of aftermarket currently existing, and it will take time to establish good market which has these structures and functionalities.
Yes, yes. And I mean, you talk about the value chain and train and the value chain itself, and at all different levels within that value chain, there are certain market disruptions taking place. Which ones do you see as some of the key major ones that are impacting the aftermarket trade, be it both on a car and a commercial vehicle side?
So it's regionally, actually. There is one common, let's say, development which we see in the market, and this is how to call it. New market participants, new market stakeholders are coming in the market and offer new rules. And all stakeholders have to follow those rules, even if they are not, perhaps at some point, not able to follow this. I will mention one point generally. This is the development of technologies.
Yes.
The impact is coming from the society. The society has new development path. We do see here how what is the name of the society develops, and the mobility behaviors are pretty changed. So especially we do see here in urban areas, and on each part of the world is a tendency in direction of increasing of urban areas, and rural areas are disappearing. So, and as a direct this development follows next development. If I in megacities have to go from A to B, which vehicle do I use? Mm-hmm. Do I use own car, or I do use taxi, or I use bus, or train, or whatever? So,
yes.
And the answer is share economy. I do not use my own car because I don't need them. The infrastructure is very good, and share economy offer to me full mobility without to own my own vehicle.
Yes.
If I have this development view, and I know that the number of vehicles in operation have main impact to the aftermarket size, volume, development, participants, structures, and so on, then it's clear that if I share a car with 3 people, I will not have in my stock 3 cars than only 1 car. Even if the mileage is higher than by 1 car, if 3 people are using this, it is still not enough to, let's say here, to make so many driven kilometers in average of with 3-4 cars. And what I will say is that we have, for this development, we do have another needs in the market. And our technology development offer us also some solutions how to face this challenge. Mm-hmm. When I do think about development of new powertrain, development of electrical vehicles, on demand after sales of those electrical vehicles, there is also another factor where I have to say I have to be careful with my prognosis about the value of future aftermarket.
Yes.
So I have to think at which point will it be moment of truth, and actually having all those things in mind, it is the responsibility of managers from today, how to handle this business, how to make this business also profitable and let's say here, a business which brings my total engagement in automotive a positive.
Yes.
You know, if you look to the networks of vehicle manufacturers, and if you compare the sales and profit of sales of new cars, sales of used cars, financial services, and after-sales business, you will see the difference that in terms of sales, new car sales is the business number one, but in terms of it is after-sales business.
Very, very true.
If you think about this consequences, then I, as a manager who has responsibility for this for automotive after-sales business, have to find a way to offer additional services, additional value to my customers from today. And this is not only related to sales of parts, but also to sales of after-sales services.
How prepared are you to navigate the disruptive trends that are set to hit your business? Will you survive and win in the coming years? To understand your level of risk exposure and to help you avoid becoming a statistic of failure, take the free risk assessment here, www.dalcorsogroup.com, which will identify the gaps and how to navigate the risks. By taking the risk assessment, you get a chance to win a free 30-minute strategy session with automotive growth expert Roberto Dal Corso. Roberto can help you identify an amount equivalent to 7% of your total annual sales that you are leaving on the table each year. To survive and win, take action now and visit www.dalcorsogroup.com.
Correct. So, I mean, just quickly going back a second, it sounds like some of the major trends and impacts that you see is really around the technology side, which is driven by electric vehicles and autonomous driving, but that's also driven by a personal perspective of the individual users. You then also got the shared mobility as people's patterns are changing in the market. And along with that, you've also got the changes where you've got the mobility, the connectivity, the electric vehicles and autonomous driving all at a very high level. Well, would that be correct in what I understood?
It is true, but it is not only. It's only this kind of development for technological, because technological development provide us, this what I've mentioned before, also new kind of businesses, new ways how to make a business.
Yes.
For example, Google or another IT, a big player, is interested to be part of automotive value chain. However, and they have several, let's say here, different ways how they would like to develop and to be part of automotive chain. When we will have this situation, then the rules in the aftermarket and in automotive business generally will be changed. And we have about this. The second development in this point is our digitization, which is actually whole society to see, and we have this as a big challenge, biggest challenge actually since many years in each society, in each country, but globally also, to step in this digital age, and to move, let's say, from offline to online, and following this development, our parts distribution business is also changed in last years. So the establishing of online shops only for end consumer,
Yes.
but also for to-be consumer, is also changing also this world. So there are also new players coming in the market, also new players offering new products and bring new rules.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do, actually we are talking about additional channels. This is online channels, but this is also for established stakeholder also a way how to bring the products to my customers. So this is has own rules, and if you ignore those rules, it can be can happen that you will be surprised a certain day. What happened to my main competitors and how to offer better services than my competitor who has digitized his business, who has data-oriented business, and I'm doing only offline business and move the pallets from one part to another. So that is something. It's a philosophy behind of this, but clear. All participants have to follow those new developments because this is state of the art currently. And there are different options, different ways how to make a market, offering only parts, only material online, or offering full service online, including repairs, and different ways how to establish this work and use this new technology. It's not new, but there are new players in the market who bring new rules. Yes, we have also, if you ask for what are the big challenges in the market also.
Yes.
This consolidation process in the parts distribution worldwide. Yeah? The developments in Europe especially, so since 5 or 6 years, there is a strong tendency for this, let's say, concentration of businesses, so that we have now, for example, LKQ, the Europe company, which came first in 2011, 2012 to Europe from USA. They're now leading parts distributor with more than 5 billion euro turnover, B2B.
Yeah.
So this is something what is really, it's massive, it's big, has big influence to the market, because we are with big players. You have big players in the market who establish again their own rules.
Yes.
At a certain point, it's a bit dangerous. So not looking to the size of these changes, 2011, 2012 in this area, the turnover of biggest parts distributors, top 10, in 2011,
yes,
compared to the turnover of top top 10 parts distributors in 2016. In 2016, the turnover had.
Yeah.
So, and there are some changes, who is who there. Some of them, for example, Trost company in Europe, it was the leading company with a turnover of 800 million euro. And it was something unbelievable in year 2011. In 2016, nobody see Charles because it's part of Mrs. Müller company, and these changes are happening very, very, very fast. So
Yes.
the Star Group is part of LKQ. I don't know. Alternate is part of SAG.
Yeah.
Yes. Very many changes.
Yeah. No. You've touched on a lot of different topics there, because, as you mentioned, new third parties such as the likes of Uber, Apple, Google, Tesla coming in, bringing in new rules and as well as new business models. You touched on digitalization, offline and online, and the impacts that is having, as well as then looking at the consolidation of the distributor network of these massive buying groups. I'm just interested on your thoughts also on how do you see the OEMs, because they've also are aggressively entering into the aftermarket because they see that that's a right for them to play in this market. What are some of the impacts you see around that?
As OEMs, I'm very, very interested to have at the beginning to know what you're talking about. Quite like OEMs, you understand vehicle manufacturers.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, because it's always the question of definition. So,
sorry. Yes, vehicle manufacturers, the OEMs. My apologies.
No. Okay. Yes, it is. True. I mentioned before that after-sales business is very important for them regarding of profitability of total business. But the question, looking to a bit to the past, the first movement in this direction was, how can I get my lost customers with cars older than 4 years after current warranty time back in my network, in my service network.
Yes.
And there were several ways how many of vehicle manufacturers have tried to get it, and for example, with guarantee enlargement, like Kia, for example, offers for 7 years or 5 years, and so on.
Yes.
After looking back to development based on this activities, there is no really significant movement in direction of OES, also for all the cars up to 7 years. So it's not really work, this kind of strategy.
Okay.
Maybe I'm very direct in making opinion regarding of this, but this is, let's say here, this is our opinion of Volkswagen safety experts. Then there was the idea to offer also economy parts, original parts for all the cars. So, like, I don't know, second brand.
Yes.
You come back also with all the cars to the network of vehicle manufacturers, and you get cheaper original parts for your car. Good idea, but this what we see, it doesn't work also. So, and this movement, the last movement, which we see here and see that it works, is sales of original parts to independent garages. So it is the customer is there where he wants to be in the independent aftermarket, in the independent garage, but the parts which it's at least the offer from the independent garage, you can also have original parts in your cars.
Yes.
So this last movement which we see here in the market, and it is something what partly works, what is actually a compromise, and this is that the vehicle manufacturer is able to sell more parts than only through own network. Even when they sell already captive parts, which in crash repairs or some kind of parts which are only captive parts in some range of, let's say, 20 up to 30% of total turnover or purchase volume of independent garages.
Yes.
So on the top, they sell also parts, replacement, classical replacement parts also. So this is the additional movement. And then we have a special movement, where is PSA concerned establishing in last year, which they are movement parallel to the independent aftermarket. The idea behind is not to make differentiation on distribution channels for either for vehicles, but also for services, also for parts. Two parallel movements, and PSA group offers original parts, looking about aftermarket business. Original parts through their own network. They offer Euro repair parts as a kind of private label for independent garages, for Euro repair network. They offer also through their online shop.
Yes.
All kind of brands, independent brands, let's say here, also their own work, Mr. Otto, and web shop, who is almost in very many countries in Europe already existing. And they offer also through their distribution network, the common independent brands and parts to the market, to all participants.
Yes.
So they offer have full package, what's the name?
A full range
of each end consumer. They can offer that.
Yes.
So they are thinking not only manufacturing thinking behind of this, also distributor. I'm salesman and I'm here to sell. What I sell, which parts? No, doesn't mind. That is no problem. I provide and sell everything.
Everything. And do you think that strategy over a long term will work?
I have another question. Why should not work?
Okay.
Because the question is, if I sell only original parts, independent parts will be sold also. So independently, what I'm doing, besides of my business, happened following independent parts will be sold. I sell. That's my question. Why should not participate in this value chain where I can earn some amount also selling independent parts.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because the car has not very many, or let's say here, Distrigo and so on. This is distribution business. This is sales business. This is something what is not manufacturing.
Yes.
They don't manufacture the parts. They sell only.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a sales organization.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's certainly very interesting times for the industry. But now, we've had a good look at some of the leading changes and of what's happening in the marketplace. What are some of the impacts for, let's call it tier one aftermarket manufacturers and distributors if they don't take note of the changes in the market? I mean, some people have described them as being absolutely critical and survival is at stake. Do you think it is as serious as that if companies don't take note of these changes?
So it's always very many factors which influence this kind of this situation. I would not say generally yes, it's dangerous for all. It is. Let's think again about the electrical vehicles. The aftermarket manager, they see this development.
Mm-hmm.
They move. They make they move in direction to avoid the situation in 10 years that I don't have any market.
Yeah.
If you don't move in direction to avoid this development, it's like suicide.
And I mean, the same, I guess, can be said for your digitalization, where you're saying if you don't move with the times, you will be left behind.
It is always. It is something what is. It's all this evolution. It's not evolution. I mean.
Yeah.
It is not revolution. It is nothing but is coming. From today up to tomorrow, we have new rules. It is something what is. It is long process and it works. And it was started already in 2000.
Yes.
So almost 20 years ago. Now we have the situation that we can talk about this because it really has, you can see products of this, let's say, evolution process. And that's why, and also from the political side, it's also recognized and as also a big topic and agenda also in the political world. That's why I can't imagine that somebody sleeps looking this movement and don't make the steps which have to be done. What I can imagine is they do everything what you need for your business. You move with the time, with the signs of the time.
Yes.
And however, you come to the situation to having no more market in front of you. It is something what is not only the reason it's not only moving and going with the time. The point is, do I see here the possibility to develop and optimize my business so like the time needs, instead to get from one management meeting to another management meeting, and then I have my agenda and I have my to-dos, do my to-dos, and not looking around and looking what happened in the market and make a additional work.
Yes.
So this is something what is it has impact in digitization and the new movement only.
So
there is the question of how motivated the management is, how do they have intrinsic motivation, do they look only to see up to next job opportunity and to change company. It's very many personal situations have a big impact on.
Yeah. So it sounds like, what I hear you saying is, the industry, I mean, most companies realize that the market is changing. They know they need to change. They're doing everything that, they possibly can to do. But one of the potential underlying factors as to whether they will survive or be successful in the future might be internal versus an external factor, it sounded like.
Exactly this. Exactly this. It's always a mixture. It's always a mixture of both.
Yeah.
However, external is very high, certain moment, certain area. But internal motivation gives you also power to win.
Yes.
And vice versa, only when external factors are very, very positive, then I don't have to do almost nothing running. Maybe is this the reason? Because talking about whole value chain, and the possibility of the chain to earn good money.
Yes.
This is maybe very special area business. It first of all look pretty good to me.
No, that's sorry, go.
Yeah. When you do your business as usual and always, and you earn always a very big money, at a certain moment you're not able to move and take real and good movements and good decisions. And this is actually what I'm talking about internal and intrinsic motivation to be always a part of market and to have responsibility as a manager to bring your company, but also to the total market.
Yeah. No, and I think what you mentioned there has so much value because, I mean, last year I did some primary research with about 900 individuals within the automotive industry, and one of the top things that they believed their company in the automotive industry did well was have a vision and try and be proactive. But one of the things that they highlighted as, let's call it top of the worst or not being very good at, was actually executing and managing that execution. And primarily that, as you mentioned, goes around the internal leadership of organizations. So maybe, the industry is not revolutionary changing, but maybe it needs a revolution change internally.
Yes, yes. You know, it is always a quick bit. I would say here, it's in 95% of all the world. You have to have passion. You have to have idea. You have to have motivation. You have to have target in front of you. You have to want to reach this target.
Yes.
And it is, I don't know, sometimes at a certain point it is necessary to train. Yeah?
Yes.
And very often you have already given the situation. So, and if you have not this situation directly transiently, if you don't have the size, the situation that the market, the company doesn't see necessity to train this skill. We have seen in the last, let's say here, 15 years, the companies which don't exist anymore because of this not being on this route in this position.
Yeah. And I think, that rate of companies, maybe not surviving will only increase because the market is changing and it's an evolutionary change and it's changing fast. But internally, you need to manage it. And I mean, I think we've both seen it in companies. You can immediately see it in companies that are doing it and managing it well because they've got those practices in place and they are growing. And you can also see companies that are less effective in doing it and are losing market share, maybe at a rate more than they would like to say.
Exactly. I will repeat again. If you do only businesses, if you have do only your to-do list, and not think about possibilities of synergy effects of everything what happens daily, it can happen that this kind of such companies also disappear.
Yeah. No, it's very, very true. Zoran, I know I'm conscious of your time and, I don't want to overstretch the luxury of the time that you have given us. Just changing up a little bit the gears. What are some of your passions outside of the automotive industry? I know you love football and I know Croatia's doing well.
Yes. This is what is I'm very satisfied because of last development in the championship in Russia. But football is not my sport number one. I am a volleyball player, or I used to be. Currently, I'm only a hobby volleyball player. Perhaps one per month. I do play, and this is for time, and I like to do it.
Oh, I didn't know you played volleyball. And did you play at a good level when you were growing up? And I mean, not that you're old, but in your slightly younger days.
Yes. I will say that for how I understand volleyball playing and volleyball as a sport, I was good at a high level.
Oh,
so not compared with some championships and other stuff. It was always part of my, let's say here, hobby leagues and not big.
No, that is certainly interesting. That's one thing I've learned that I did not know about you. So thank you for sharing that. Zoran, I don't want to take up more of your time. I can just say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed this discussion. I always enjoy spending time and learning from you because you have got so much to share.
Thank you, Robbie. Also, always nice to meet you. Always good to speak with you, and also you have also very many stuff to share with us. So we can also learn from you very many. I think this program that you do now, it's something pretty new, really new. It's idea. Which is maybe only in heads of some of people also existing, but not so exactly so implemented like you do this. It is amazing, very good.
No, thank you. I hope that through this and through all these interviews, we can help the aftermarket, which we both love and we're both passionate about, to learn, educate, grow, and to share the information that is already out there. So again, I can only say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you also.
I hope that you have enjoyed and found value in watching this interview. If you want to learn more about the leading disruptive automotive trends impacting the industry, check out www.dalcorsogroup.com. I encourage you to share it with colleagues that will appreciate great industry insights. Join us tomorrow for more experts from around the world.